Welcome back. Bet the Juice Podcast. Cody Mitchell here. So we're all just at the horizon. Now we're on the Big South. Fortunately, one of the more probably chalk-looking tournaments of the year, but still going to break it down. And there's still some, you don't know, man. It's still college basketball. It's still March Madness. Good to be in here. Man, it was so fun to talk about the Horizon League, especially after we did hit the first leg. And again, it's not a first leg. It's the first. We're 1-0. We got the very first game of the conference tournament season correct. So it was a good start, and it's always good to see. The Big South this year, obviously, there's the team that everybody knows that is like more dialed into college basketball than the guy who's just watching the ranked games, the big games, the Power 5 games. Talking to you, Connor, out there, wherever you are in Georgia, doing your living life on the road. Hopefully, Monday night? Got to work at 5 a.m. Didn't care, you're a big blue-collar guy, so you went out to the bars, found you a nice gal to cuddle up with at the end of the night. Wake up, maybe she'll grab you McDonald's, something like that, but it'd be good for you. So hoping that's in your wheelhouse. You deserve it more than anybody. And I hope you live that life on the road to the fullest extent, buddy. Can't wait to talk to you. Can't wait to do a show again together on Friday. Can't wait to Sunday when we picking doing the other 4 conference breakdowns you're actually going to do with me. But until then, hope that lady keeps you warm at night. It's what really matters, what keeps the lights on. Really makes the heart, grow fonder. So, shout out to you, buddy. But yeah, anybody who really actually watches, more than just the big games, the ranked games, the P4 games. High Point's kind of the team in this league. They made the tournament last year. Rumors of probably more NIL money combined than literally any other team in the Big South. Obviously they lost Alan Huss. He's now the associate head coach at Creighton. Basically just going to be the heir apparent to whenever McDermott calls it quits. But until then, he'll just be having the associate role. But Coach Flynn, Kleiman, I can't remember his name. He's done a fantastic job. They're 27-4. They're leading the way. It's probably going to be a favorite-ridden tournament here. No spoiler alert, but I might have High Point winning this one. I do think they have way more talent than everybody else in this league. But the big thing is, if you're going to, bet on some of these, don't parlay minus 160 conference tournaments together. Any minus money. You shouldn't be doing it anyway, even if it's just the regular season games. But in hindsight, just don't. It's not worth it. It's not a smart bet. You're not gonna make. It's not lucrative long term. There's just too much chaos in March, man. Yeah, there's a lot of crazy stuff that goes on the tournament, but there's a lot of crazy stuff that goes on the conference tournaments. You're betting 160 for somebody to win the conference tournament. It's crazy. Now, if you're going to do it in anyone, it would probably be the Big South. But parlaying with other ones, man, it's like you take Navy and the Patriots, who's a big favorite, Long Island, who's a big favorite in the NEC. It's just to get to almost like plus 175, something like that. That's dumb. Never fucking do it. But enough of me talking. Let's get to the odds here. High Point minus 160. Winthrop is plus 290. Radford's 13-1. Asheville, kind of the Big South, team of this century, is 16-1. Longwood's 28-1. Presbyterian 30-1. Charleston Southern 30-1. USC Upstate 65-1. And Gardner-Webb, the running Bulldogs who have been throwing games the entire season, is 500-1. 500-1. But I don't know. Let's get to the bracket. I'll be back on screen here in a second. We just got to work the cameras around a little bit. So, pretty straightforward bracket. You got 9 teams. You got one play-in game here. And that's really about it. Just other than that, it's an 8-team tournament. It's nice and easy here. And it's probably going to be a quick one here because I kind of do like a lot of favorites in this one. It's a pretty chalky tournament. It's probably going to be, but I do still think there's a little bit of edges there. So we're going to get it start right off with a rip here. I am so done with this fucking Gardner-Webb team. They're throwing games. I don't care who's saying they're not throwing games. They're throwing games. But somehow I'm just been on the wrong side of the rigging too much. It's like games that I actually do take them. Maybe I got bad CLV and they end up covering a late spread. I'll bet for them, like, I don't know, man. At 22, like, they can still cover that even if they're trying to throw it. Now they'll lose by 40. This Gardner-Webb team makes no sense. This is a team that was beating Winthrop in both games, won by 20. They were beating Winthrop. They were getting 21.5, we'll say. It was in the 20s. And at one point, we're leading by more than that and failed to cover the spread. I don't know what happened to this running Bulldog team. They used to be kind of one of the better teams in this league. But this year is not the year. I have USC Upstate advancing in the first round, or in the opening round game. Now, to the quarterfinals. High Point is playing Upstate. These two teams have played. I think they got them twice this year. High Point got them by 20 at home, and High Point got them by 25 on the road. And I think they get him a third time. I have the High Point Panthers advancing to the semifinals. It's probably going to be a pretty big number, too, I would expect. Next up, we have Winthrop in Charleston Southern. Again, I think I said this on the the first, the Horizon League episode. Got to check out Hoops HD, hoopshd.com. Simple as that. It will give you the layout of the bracket. And some cool things it'll give you. It'll give you like if a team is going to reseed. It'll give you if games are being played at home during this one. For the Big South in particularly, these games will be played in Johnson City, Tennessee. So not a lot of home court around the board there, but it is something to note. Charleston Southern. So let's talk about them first. Because Winthrop, probably one of the class of the Big South for a bunch of years, obviously most notably with Pat Kelsey when Chandler Vaudrum was there. Most notably, my friends would know him as I called him they were playing somebody in the first round. I can't remember. This probably was 2022, 21, one of those years. I called him the Luka Doncic of the Big South because he could do a little bit of everything. On that game, I think he had about 10 points, about 6 assists, something like that, so like not too bad. But he had about 15 turnovers. So almost that triple-double, but one was with the turnovers, but never let me hear it down. He proceeded to play his worst game of his career, and they just never let me live it down there. So let's get to Charleston Southern, because Charleston Southern has beaten Winthrop already. They got him at home, beat him by 2. In the other game, Charleston Southern kept it close. They lost by 4. Winthrop's 21-10. Charleston Southern 15-16. But if you really dive into those losses, after starting off 2-0 in league play, still in that wild cherry. I don't know where I'm going to go next. I got Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar Cherry, which is good, but for some reason, just Diet Dr. Pepper is better than Zero Sugar Dr. Pepper. I don't understand what that is. I have Dr. Pepper in the top 3. If you're new to here, I drink a lot of zero-calorie soda, and I talk about it basically every episode. I would say top 3. I think Coke Zero Cherry Float, 1. It's insane. It's new. It's incredible. 2, can't go wrong with Coke Zero. And then 3, be Diet Dr. Pepper. But the Bucks. Let's get to the Bucks. They were 2-0 to start league play. Then they lost 8 in a row. But here's the losses. On the road at Winthrop by 4. Lost at home to High Point by 2. Lost at home in overtime to USC Upstate by 5. Lost on the road at Presbyterian by 4. Lost to Longwood at home on the road by 2. Now Radford got them by 9 at home. High Point blitzed them by 25 on the road. But then they lost to Upstate at home in overtime. They've also lost to Longwood. This is Saturday, February 22nd, in overtime. So they have 5 of their 10 losses in league play have been in overtime. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 have been by under 5 points. Even some of that weren't in overtime. This Bucks team's good. They split, obviously, with Winthrop. But ultimately, I will have the Winthrop Eagles advancing to the second round. So chalk to start it off here. Now we have Radford and Presbyterian. Radford with that new coach. After Nichols took off and went to LaSalle. Zach Chu, guy who's basically never coached basketball in his life. He was more of an analytics guy. Somehow worked, man. I talked a lot of shit on them in the offseason. I was tweeting at them all the time. Not tweeting at them, but just tweeting like, dude, this isn't going to work. Analytics do matter in sports. They do matter in college basketball. Probably more than the majority of sports. But that's not how you win. You don't win championships. You don't win league titles. You don't win league conference tournaments and punch your ticket to March Madness with numbers. But man, he got the 3 seed. So you got to give him there. Got to give it to them. Now, in their 4 games they played against the top tier of this league, against Winthrop and High Point, they lost all 4. So, it is what it is. In the matchups against Presbyterian, they got them both times. Beat them at home by 19, and then beat them in overtime by 9, but this was double overtime, so this was a back-and-forth game. Radford's kind of been good down the stretch, and Presbyterian's kind of been fading away. So as much as it pains me, I do have Radford advancing in this one. Now, 2 of the better teams in this league, both have been in the NCAA tournament in the last 3 seasons, Asheville and Longwood. I don't know why I like this Longwood team. I've always just kind of had a soft spot for them. They have been playing pretty good down the stretch. I do think culture does still matter. Culture will always matter. And Coach Morrell's been there, done that. Now, he's only got him to the tournament once in his 8 or 9 seasons in Asheville. But he's always getting him to play for the title game. I know everybody remembers Drew Pember. But he's had other teams that were right there that maybe not made the NCAA tournament, but were flirting with that Big South tournament title game, semis, stuff like that. So at the end of the day, I'm still going to stick with culture because I do think it matters, and I have the Bulldogs advancing. In the semis, probably another big spread here. High Point and Asheville. So far, straight chalk. And I'm going to spoil it for you. Chalk is going to continue here because I do have the High Point Panthers winning this one as well. In the 2 matchups that played this in league play, they got Asheville on the road by 18. High Point did. And then when they came to High Point, they won by 26. There's levels of this stuff, man. High Point has the money to pay. Not like they're not getting 5 stars. They're not getting top tier transfers or anything like that. But they're getting some of the better, P5 guys that end up dropping down. So they couldn't make it at Tennessee, so they ended up going to High Point. They couldn't make it at Auburn, so they go to High Point. A lot of the guys in the southern part of the country, they got the money, man. I'm gonna have the Panthers advancing to the title game. Now I went back and forth on this one here with Radford and Winthrop. I did, but at the end of the day, I can't do the stupid analytics. I think Winthrop is going to sweep them in advance to the title game. So still chalk, and we got 1 and 2. Winthrop first, High Point. They played twice. Winthrop got them by 17 at home, but there were some injuries at the time for High Point. And then the other game, High Point kind of controlled it for the majority of the game. I remember being on the Eagles of Winthrop. I think I got plus 11. And at one point, I know High Point was up like 16-17. And then the Eagles stormed back, almost took the lead. But ultimately, fell a little bit short. And I think High Point is going to win this season series 2-1. They're going to go back to the dance once again. I don't know about. I really don't know if they're good enough to maybe compete and maybe win a game in March. It's all going to be depictable on the matchup, obviously. But I mean, if any of your mid-majors, like in your conversation for your darlings, you're filling your brackets out, you don't really know a bunch about some of these smaller leagues, High Point's got to be one of them. Fortunately, I forgot to fucking put the odds down for Winthrop as my best bets. But really, there's only two. I'm not betting Winthrop minus 160, High Point minus 160. I'm not betting Winthrop plus 290. I'm not. You're not really going to lose a lot of value because they won't be that big. Like, High Point's probably going to be a 6-point favorite anyway if they played. So you're probably already looking at plus 175, plus 180. I'm going to play 290 for a chance for them to get picked off. And then on the other side, for my long shot, Charleston Southern 30-1. You heard me rattle off all the overtime games they played this year. You've heard me rattle off all the one-score games they played, the games that were under 5. They were hot, and they just had that long stretch where they couldn't find a way to close out a game. You know, you beat Winthrop. I could see the Buccaneers in the title game. Now, I don't know if they have the dogs to beat High Point, but that's the spot you hedge out of, or you cash out, or you something like that. If you get that 30-1 to the title game, you have your options. Again, don't bet it big. This is like a half a unit, a quarter of a unit, a fourth of a unit, a tenth of a unit bet. If you're betting $50 a game normally, put 5 on it. Pay out $150. You got options. But I do think Charleston Southern, if they can get past Winthrop, has somewhat of a chance. I really do. So that wraps up the Big South. We got the Horizon League down. We got the Big South down. Next up is the Sun Belt. With that crazy-ass fucking bracket that makes no sense, and I don't like it, but we're going to break it down. That should be up tonight as well. This will be on YouTube. Audio's out there on anywhere you get your podcast as well. So, everybody, peace, and out of here.